Konosuba goes down as one of the greatest comedies of all time till this day. And while I've been trying to enjoy Natsumi Akatsuki's other work, such as Kimono Michi Rise Up, I haven't been able to find that same charm that the original series had with Konosuba. But this is my thoughts on Combatants Will Be Dispatched, another work by Natsumi, and these are my thoughts on the series up to 4 episodes so far. As I mentioned before, Konosuba is amazing. Everything about it is perfect. It has great chemistry, great characters. The comedy just does not let up. So naturally, when Kimono Michi came around, I jumped right onto it and did not have that same laughter as I did before. That same never relentless comedy that I loved Konosuba for. Now, when it comes to Combatants Will Be Dispatched, this series is kind of in the middle area for me. It's not laugh out loud comedy all the time, but it's not the disappointment that I had in Kimono Michi Rise Up. Now, granted, again, as always, comedy is subjective. So what you will find funny, not everybody else is going to find funny. What I find funny, you're probably not going to find funny. It's just a natural thing in comedy. So far with the series, for those that don't know what the series is about, it follows a guy named Number Six, or well, he's labeled as Number Six. His name is Sentouin. He is a part of the Kisaragi Corporation, which is this organization that has basically, it's an evil organization that has overthrown the Earth, and they are essentially wanting to branch out. They're going to go to other Earth-like locations and conquer more. And so they send Number Six to go to this random location or this other planet, teleport there, and take it over. Well, when he arrives there, he ends up joining the army there and working with them. You kind of find out he gets paid a lot more working for this random kingdom that he's supposed to overthrow, that he decides to start working there and making money. Now, he still has his initial mission, which is to overthrow this kingdom and gain evil points. So they have this evil point system where if you do evil deeds, you'll gain points, and then you can buy stuff with it. So he has to do evil deeds in order to rank up these points to have stuff to use. An interesting thing is that his original world he's from is just nothing but science, whereas this world that he has been transported to take over is a fantasy world. So there's magic and everything there. And so it kind of has this little thing about, science and technology versus magic all mixed around in this kind of comedy. And like I said, a lot of it revolves around Number Six, who is he thinks he's a lot better than he actually is. He's actually not all that great and powerful at all, but he believes himself to be important and can pull things off. And so most of the cases, whenever he does overcome something, it's usually either using the mind of Alice, which is this robotic partner that was given to him, or just him having dumb luck with a really crazy and diabolical scheme that he ends up hatching. He often plays on people, plays very dirty in order to overcome something and win in the end, even though he does it through a bad means. I guess the thing that's still kind of holding this up, and it's similar to Konosuba, is that it's got a good cast. Technically you can say that a lot of these characters do mimic the same thing you would get from Konosuba, and I think that's probably what the writer was going for, was like, okay, this was the chemistry that worked for me last time. Let me kind of reuse that chemistry, because you do have Snow, who is a knight of this kingdom. Snow is very Aqua-esque, very self-important, very selfish, always out to kind of gain the foot, always out to look after herself. And she also has a lot of dumb luck, and so it kind of has that similar feel as, like I said, Aqua. You have Rose, who is very... the initial introductions is very chuny, but she's kind of has a lot more goofballness nature to her. She's not quite a Mega Man. They do make a explosion joke in the show, by the way, which was easily spotted and definitely gave me a chuckle. I guess the only thing you don't really have is you don't have a darkness character, which I guess technically Grim and a little bit of Snow has that nature of that almost self-inflicting pain is a good thing. Grim does have kind of a weird sense of taste. We'll just say that. I actually really like Grim, and I didn't think I'd like her, but I actually really do like her. So yeah, it does have a great cast, and a lot of the comedy around the characters is excellent. I loved Grim. I loved how really misfortunate she is. Her curse, she's able to curse things, and if it messes up, it rebounds. She's always in a wheelchair, so you always think that, like, maybe she's crippled or something. Like, oh no, the rebound effect made it to where she can't wear shoes, so she doesn't. She always is in a wheelchair because of that. Like I said, Snow and her misfortune, she always ends up running into. She gets like these really, expensive blades and then ruins them, and so she's, in terrible debt because of that. Alice has a very kind of deadpan to herself. She's very kind of mute, but then she's always kind of diabolical in her own way. Rose just goofy, ganky, and does crazy stuff, and it's always absurd how crazy she is. Like, she just wants to bite things so that she can gain powers. So, like I said, it does have a really great cast. It's just kind of the middle ground there between all the comedy of the characters themselves. It has a lot of lulling points, and that's really where I'm standing. It's like, it's not that the show is bad. I do have a lot of laughs in the show. It's just, if you're coming to it looking for Konosuba, like I keep causing myself to, and I shouldn't, it's not that relentless comedy that you got from Konosuba. It's just it kind of has these lulling points throughout it that just are not as funny. I think a lot of my frustration is they have this, technically the unique hook they have in the show is the evil point system. And it doesn't really rely enough on that. It basically has maybe one punchline per episode, relying on him building up points by doing something really diabolical that everybody else looks at him and says he's a disgusting person for doing it. And those are a lot of points where I laugh as well, besides the comedy beats with the characters, and it doesn't do it. So it just doesn't do it enough, rather. So, like I said, overall it's a solid show. I get a lot of laughs, just not enough. I don't have enough to kind of match that Konosuba. I just need to go back and watch Konosuba again. This is where it comes from, or comes down to, is I just need to go back and watch Konosuba, because I'm never gonna find that same genius again. It's always, I think this writer's always gonna be stuck with that legacy that he's having to fulfill again, which does suck, but it is what it is. But that's my thoughts on Combatants Will Be Dispatched. Kind of a really goofy series, following a guy trying to take over a kingdom, but not, because he has self-interest. And his crazy cast of people that are joining with him. So, yeah, if you like that, if any of that sounds interesting to you, definitely check it out. And as always, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please let me know in the comments below. Leave a like if you can. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you all enjoyed. And y'all take care.